Do you want to destroy her insides with your super sausage thrusting power? Well, today's video is a special one because it's one of the most requested videos I've ever done. I've had a lot of you guys hit me up in the comments section, in my emails, etc., in my DMs, asking for a video on how to thrust properly, and different ways to thrust and grind and penetrate a lady with your super sausage. So that's what I'm getting stuck into today. Let's go. My name is Stirling Cooper, award-winning adult film star, former high-class male companion, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, Lord knows why you guys have asked me to do a video on this. I liken this to being asked to do a video on how to walk, like you put one foot in front of the other. That's how you do it. But apparently this isn't second nature to a lot of people, so hence this video on how to thrust properly. Let's go. So the first style, method, technique, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to talk about right now is called the grind. So when you're in the act of penetrating, rather than just going straight in and out, we're going to add a bit of downward curve, like a grind, into the motion. This whole video is about the motion in the ocean. It's probably what I should have titled it, but hey, we went with something a bit more clickbaity. Anyway, that kind of grinding motion at the bottom of the thrust. Now, there's a couple of positions that this style of thrusting is very, very useful in. For example, in missionary position, she's on her back, at the bottom of that grind, we can hit spots at the back of the vaginal wall, and when she's laying down flat on her stomach in prone bone position, also known as froggy style, also known as lazy doggy, but most people refer to it as prone. So she's laying flat, face down. You can, again, do this kind of grinding motion, again, at the bottom of your penetration, the bottom of your thrust. And in that position, you're going to be grinding directly into her G-spot. So it's very, very useful there. Next up, we have the deep power thrust. Now, this is very good to use when she's sort of, again, in missionary on her back. I personally prefer this when, you know, you've got your hands around her legs and putting her knees sort of by her ears, and you can really drive your hips straight into her, penetrate really, really hard and deep. And this isn't necessarily great for, you know, trying to bring a woman to climax, unless she likes to having her cervix punched. Some women do. But it's more used for sort of making a statement and kind of establishing dominance and shocking her system, like waking her up, making her pay attention, making her be like, all right, daddy's in charge now. It's just showing that power, showing that dominance. But at the very, very bottom, like deep of your sort of range of motion, you apply more power and more pressure, and you hold it for a little bit as well. It's not sort of fast. It's like bang, 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 like that. Deep power thrusts like that. Again, best used, in my opinion, in missionary with strong eye contact as well. This is typically good to use in doggy style or in cowgirl. So you're trying to keep a consistent but high pace, and depending upon the way that your dick is sort of shaped in points, if you have an upwards curve or a downwards curve, that either doggy style or cowgirl are going to play to in your favor, I should say. So you use this sort of consistent fast pace to get her off through a vaginal orgasm. Now, again, in cowgirl, if your dick points upwards with a consistent fast pace, you're going to be hitting her G-spot, and if your dick points downwards, has a downward curve, in doggy style, that's going to achieve the same thing, a consistent fast paced thrusting style. Next up, we're going to mix things up a little bit, and we're going to do what I like to call the around the world kind of motion. Now, this involves penetrating and using us when your penis is inside of her, doing a circular motion, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Basically, this allows you to hit different parts of the vaginal wall than you normally would when you're penetrating, you know, just with a regular thrusting motion. So it's not quite the grinding at the bottom, or like the first example I gave you, at the bottom of your thrust, that little grind. It's more of a grinding to the left or grinding to the right at the bottom of your thrusting motion. So you create this sort of circular sensation. It just mixes things up a bit. It's not necessarily something that's going to lead to an orgasm. It just, I don't know, adds a little bit of difference to that sexual experience. Something to play around with here and there, keep her guessing, and sort of prep her to transition to something else, or give you some time to sort of calm down again, so it's not sort of super fast pace, get your breath back, but still keep her engaged, keep the sensations flowing. But like I said, it's not necessarily going to lead to any kind of tremendous, fantastic orgasm, but it's still an enjoyable thing for her, and even for you as well. Now this next one is my absolute favorite, and I call it the tease. Sometimes I also refer to it as the just the tip game, and I'm not talking about butt stuff here. What I like to do personally, and you're free to steal this and incorporate it into your own bedroom experiences, is I like to tease the vulva, tease the outer labia, tease the clitoris with just the head of my dick, and then make my girl beg for me to put my dick in her. And then after she's begged once, twice, maybe I'll make her repeat it 3 times, I'll give her just the tip of my dick. I'll tell her, okay, but you've only earned the tip. You only get the tip today. You only get the tip right now. You only get the tip tonight. And I'll just insert the head of my penis in and out, in and out, in and out for a few strokes. What will happen is she will basically have no willpower. She'll demand that you give her the entire thing, and if you don't, she will then wrap her legs, this is in missionary position, by the way, she will then wrap her legs around the back of you and try to pull you all the way in her. So there's 2 things you can do there. Either you can comply with her and let her win, or you can resist it and then tell her to beg for it again, and then when she is a good girl and has begged for it some more, then bang, you give her the power deep thrust, giving her all of your shaft. But it's a very, very fun game to incorporate into your sex life, and you don't bring it up like it's a game, don't mention that it's a game, it's just something that you're doing to her during, but it does a lot of things for you. It establishes this sort of, this power dynamic of like her begging for your dick. That is a good thing to have in a relationship. She should be begging for your penis. This is the correct power dynamic. So this is one very, very easy way to establish that dynamic in a fun, enjoyable, playful way for both of you through the act of sex using the tease or the just the tip game. Now that you know these secret thrusting techniques, it's time to apply them in some forbidden positions. So check this video out right here.